I represent District 93, which is in Broward County. My district goes basically from downtown Fort Lauderdale, goes out west through the cities of Lauderdale Lakes and the city of Plantation, almost to University Boulevard in South Florida. So people around the high schools, and the way I describe it is from downtown Fort Lauderdale, around Stranahan High to South Plantation High. You're in my district. Very excited with my appointments this year. I got appointed to telecommunications again. Being the longest serving member now, myself and Stacy Ritter on the telecommunications committee. When we bring back the bill this year, that will encompass a lot of different initiatives in telecommunications. Appropriations, which is always exciting. I'm on the large committee, not on the sub, so I get to sit on all of the subs and really watch how the money is being allocated in the state of Florida. And also the Select Committee on Medical Malpractice Liability, which is very interesting. We're looking at what the Governor's Committee did and looking at the recommendations that he had. And we're also looking, from our standpoint, some of the things that we can do. And we're looking at other initiatives. All of the talk has been just on caps, $250,000 caps. But there are a lot of initiatives that can be done to decrease some of the liability insurance and still retain the rights of people when they're injured. I think it's a very interesting budget. I think the governor sent out a budget just to highlight certain things, not a real budget. I mean, he wanted to highlight certain programs that he wanted, and he tried to doomsday some of the other projects. And now the negotiation really begins between the House and the Senate, negotiating and horse trading to get to where we need to be. We have problems. I mean, we came in with a deficit, class size aside. We came in with a large deficit. So it's really trying to allocate the funds and see if we have the guts to really develop ways to get new funds. Hate to say raise taxes, but find other avenues to raise funds in the state of Florida because we're in desperate need now. It's interesting, this year, the governor in his cutting for smaller government, he wants smaller government and more cuts. He's actually increased in one area, and that's the Clemency Board. He's asked for another $1 million and more employees into the Clemency Board to go through these long applications, whereas for years I've been preaching less government in this area. If we made it automatic, after a person serves their time in jail, go through all the probationary period, and we'll even give it another year, they should be able to just go down to their local supervisor of elections and apply and get their voter's registration card. But by the state requiring them to do this long application, go through the Clemency Board, we're now sitting on over 50,000 applications. We're now adding more employees to go through these applications and more government. If we just embrace this idea and let those people that have served their time go ahead and register to vote, we could eliminate a whole lot of government and save the state some money instead of increasing the budget by $1 million and by more people. I found one bill in my district is a site, the Wingate site, which is on the national charts. It's a Brownsville site, a Superfund site actually. One of the bills I found, and one thing that we've noticed in Fort Lauderdale per se, is that the state has certain standards. When it's a state-owned land, that the state cleans it up to a certain level. Well, cities have gotten around that. They've gone under the EPA standards, which are much more lax than the state standards. So when they clean up these brownfield sites, it's not to the level that the state would normally do it. So one bill I found is that cities must clean up to the state standards and not go around the state of Florida standards and using EPA standards. So that as we start cleaning up these brownfields and developing over them, that we do have clean and safe areas in our communities. It encompasses herding cats in this legislature. As the, I guess, second person in charge in the Democratic caucus, I'm in charge of making sure that, one, our newer members are up to speed. I've taken on the role, and Doug Wiles has appointed me, to really watch our freshman members and get them up to speed. We have a great group of freshmen that I've been really teaching the process. But when session starts, I mean, it's going to be herding those cats and making sure that we can all at least sing from the same song. I mean, we may be on different notes and everything, but it's really going to encompass keeping us together as a minority because we represent a segment of the state. I mean, we're in the minority, but the rights of the minority can never be trampled on, and that's what we have to ensure, that at least we're the voice of those people in the state that happen to disagree with the current administration. I look forward to this session. I think it's going to be great. And I think this is going to be the year that the state of Florida really takes a look at its priorities. I mean, we have limited resources, and we've started having a lot of citizens initiatives, and that has taught us that, hey, maybe we aren't doing everything in the state that we should be doing. If citizens feel that they have to get petitions and change the Constitution, that's a sign to the legislature that maybe we aren't truly listening to all of the things that the citizens of the state are saying. And I think this year you'll see a change. We have some freshmen in on both sides of the aisle that are coming in after these initiatives saying, hey, if you hate these constitutional initiatives, maybe we should be doing some of the work and putting it in statutes instead of making citizens go out and do it on their own. So I think it's going to be interesting to look at that dynamic this year.